So, welcome to the round table. This is the most, I would say, active and also interactive session. I start with the first question, and then also you are free to the question you need. So, I would start with Dani. First of all, present yourself.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Dani Syed. I'm the director of KIDAN. So, we are the ManageEngine partner. So, basically, our job is to help more than 1,000 companies here in Switzerland to structure the IT service management and IT management securities processes. So this is what we do. And today I was happy to meet with some of the fellows, IT service management leaders. People are already here and want to understand how we are going to take it forward. So we decided to sponsor that recently. We thank again Andrea for the organization, and we hope that we are going to bring some value today for all of you guys.
Thank you, Dani. First question, so in this session we want to speak about how different perspective you have from your business, from your competence, from your area, from your customer, you have from the enterprise service management. So bring your own perspective on your experience on how to deal with enterprise service management, or what do you see for the future, for the outlook of this enterprise service management?
So I'll tell you a few things. First of all, in the past 2 weeks, I've been to more than 8 events. Most C-level people, CISOs, CIOs, CTOs. And our job is really to help people understand the fundamentals and also prevent them from making mistakes in the future-proof their investment in terms of IT. And I'll tell you one thing, that people talk about IT service management to unified service management. But have you heard about DEX? Who knows about DEX? Who else knows about DEX? Okay, so DEX is actually the future of service management. So DEX means digital employee experience. So basically now, you are going to make sure that not only your systems are in place to promote a great work culture, productivity at all levels. So you have this kind of ticketing platform like Jira, ManageEngine, or ServiceNow. So we are going to unify and put that to every aspect of your business, right? HR, finance, IT. Our vision, and the one from Gartner, Forrester, the analysts, they say that today IT service management started by email, then went to ticketing, then went to IT service management, then unified service management, and go to DEX. So people, they come to us and they say, look, KIDAN, look, ManageEngine, we want to understand what are the trends moving forward. And what we are bringing today to the table is, don't look at unified service management only on ticketing platform or project management, change management. Look at on the onboarding experience like Magnus mentioned. Look at the offboarding. How are you going to secure the experience? Right? How are you going to make your employees happier, more productive? So that goes not only to the email platform, comes from the Teams experience, Microsoft Teams comes from the interaction with all the business applications they have. So these are the kind of stuff that nowadays we are talking about. And I feel like from my experience, so this year I've met more than 100 face-to-face leaders of ITs. And this is nowadays coming often for the big banks, for the government customers. This is what I feel nowadays is going to be the trend moving forward.
Thank you, Dani.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Right, thank you, Dani. I think in addition to that, because it was very well formulated, it's hard to come up with something new now. But I would say that when you have a good platform to work with and you have spread it across your organization, you could find easily services that you probably would find somewhere else that you could incorporate into your platform and make it more easy for your end users, becoming more user-centric or customer-centric, if you like, or consumer-centric. So just looking at the value you provide to your end users every day, and how can you facilitate just easygoing processes. They don't have to think about each, you have to fill in this. Maybe it's going to be super easy. The experience, as you say, is so much more important than technology itself. The technology should just be a commodity, it's just there. We shouldn't even talk about it. It's like the end user, they don't talk about it. Today it's like, oh, are you iPhone or Samsung? Yeah, could be, but it's not like, oh, are you ServiceNow, are you Jira, or are you this. No, they don't really care. The end users, they just want their stuff done. They don't really care if it is black or blue or whatever you have on the color scheme. You need to provide good service, and it should be easy to configure, and it's with low maintenance costs. That's what most of our customers are looking for. So we're configuring new services for our customers that we didn't, like a year ago, we didn't even look at the governance, risk and compliance till DORA came up in the rest of Europe. I don't think it's here in Switzerland, but a Digital Operational Resilience Act is about cybersecurity and so on. And so we came up with, oh, let's configure the systems so we can provide that service. So for us, that is an opportunity, but also it's a win-win situation because our customers already have the platform, so we just configure it, put it on top, and that's it. Not buying another tool and integrate, because it has a huge cost with the integration itself. So just reducing the cost by avoiding it is fantastic with enterprise service management. What do you say?
I think it's, a lot has been added, but I echo both what Dani and Magnus alluded to, right? So as a vendor, we see that from our customers as well, right? So what's customers looking for, and you're rightly saying this, right? People don't care, right? It doesn't matter who's building the tool or what color, the user interface and all of that. It at the end of the day, and especially I would say post 2022, what we are seeing, because we have customers worldwide, and when we look at the data and the requests coming in, what we're seeing is customers really looking for value, right? So it's not just about blindly going to the leaders quadrant of Gartner and then, okay, that's what I want. But they are looking for what's needed, right? And it's also, I read this somewhere, users or businesses are looking for experiences, from what they are getting 9 to 5, as in 9 to 5 when they are in front of their B2B apps. They're expecting the experience what they're getting from their 5 to 9 apps, right? So you're going to Delivery Heroes or Uber Eats of the world, where the kind of app experience you get over there, you order for food and then they give you, the whole transparency on, okay, the cost, when your food is getting delivered, who is delivering, what is the rating, etc., etc. That's what they are expecting. So if you are sending a request to an HR or you're requesting an IT tool from your desktop or mobile from your IT department, where is the status of my request? Your customer is also expecting the same thing. So things like, are you providing portals? Are you providing transparency to your customers, whether it is pricing or all of that? I think that service management, the whole the topic, right? It requires, and it's actually getting into that space where the expectation is, or the norm is slowly becoming, where things are a lot more transparent, things are a lot more agile, flexible, it's more faster, of course keeping all the other elements in place, right, the security and the privacy. It's all dual, it's no more a differentiator, right? And we are seeing that a lot of our customers who are moving from other platforms to our platforms, or our platform to some other platform, they give this as a reason, right? We are moving because of so and so reason or whatever, right? So, and I think one thing that I noticed on your presentation was, that single platform. So there's a consolidation that we are seeing also in the market, right? And this consolidation, it often fails because of the integration complexity. It is a need. Businesses want consolidation to happen, whether it is by function or by having multiple functions on the same platform. It then depends upon who can provide the consolidation the most easiest and most affordable manner, right? We are seeing this on both ManageEngine side and on ZOHO side. ManageEngine as in from the IT side and from ZOHO business, right? Yeah, so that's.
I agree. I think that in service management in general, people will always require response time, good response time, easier use of the applications. So good response time is a matter of automation, it's a matter of AI in the future more and more. Easier use is a matter of UX designer, cross applications, maybe, possibly. So I think these, and also portability on multiple devices. Many people really now expect to have the same user experience on the PC and on the smartphone, or at least the same functionalities, in order to be able to manage easier in any moment the task they have to manage. The same of people, as we said, new generations don't use email, they use WhatsApp or Telegram or what else, or Click if they are those people. We see also in our company, if I want to communicate to a person instantly, then I want to be sure that the person gets the task that I assigned. If I email it, I have no chance that immediately or in a short time the person gets the task. The only chance that I get is send a message on WhatsApp or send a message on Click, because we use Click. So the capability also of having these multiple devices and multiple communication application, also integration on top of the applications, for me will be one of the key challenges and very important topics.
Last but not least, I give you the final.
Thank you. We worked with an hospital. One of the biggest institutions is in Geneva, and it's very, because they have many different systems. And by the way, in an hospital, it's not possible to have one unique platform. And for the nurse, now they have one iPad, and they could do everything with one user interface. And it was a key success of this project. So they could manage their own data, for instance, to apply for holidays, theater planning, or if they are not sick, it's different, because it's also for sickness. If they are sick, they could also provide all documents for sickness, that is for them. But also to ask for blood pockets or for medicine for specific patients, and everything is manageable from a unique interface. As not everything, of course not, because not everything could be linked with this interface. And the success was really the portal. The success of this project, not only the portal, the user experience. And I agree with you, if you could have one user experience for the employees, it will be a major success. Technically, I could not go inside. I don't remember exactly what kind of tools they used. Yuval is not here today to speak about. But it was based on the itSMF tool, by the way. Very famous one. And they use mainly the engine to manage the different the requests and to manage the process between this tool and other tool behind. And yes, at the end, the user interface is very important.
Thank you, Blaise. Now, just to introduce the next question, I have also prepared your question, because this is an interactive session, just to put my, situation that I lived just yesterday, speaking about the instant messaging tool is using to improve the processes, whatever. Tomorrow, for my portfolio of components, we are releasing APAC, and someone pushed me in Teams, because we use Teams. Tomorrow I need you because you have to approve my certificates, because without a certificate we cannot deploy in APAC. Okay, we automate a lot of things, probably not the approval at the moment, because they need my approval, but just to say the communication come, also important communication, because tomorrow I need you in 1 p.m. because the APAC release will go in 1 p.m. Follow the sun, and he told me, please, I need you tomorrow. So in Teams. So Teams is official communication to also make everything. No? It's just to confirm what you said before. Another question, the last one for me, and also I leave the attendees to do the ones. Where do you put the Switzerland in this enterprise service management, I would say, new approach? Switzerland is on top of the innovation, on top of the life, on top of a lot of things, but what do you think Switzerland in this way? So is still on top, or you see that need, I would say, something more to be on top for enterprise service management point of view? It's free, but you have to...
I'll take it, not a lot, but I'll take it a little bit. So I've had some fantastic discussions with Forrester, IDC and Gartner, and they gave me, every one of them, they gave me some very insightful insights. Those things they said to me first is that Switzerland is lacking in maturity compared to the global market. Can you believe that? I have a statistic on my computer, but can you believe that as per IT maturity from Gartner, we are 5% lesser mature than the worldwide benchmark. So we have so much money, but we are not mature yet. Right? So not only that, so 69% of companies worldwide, they are at least going to the cloud in their maturity, not because it's a choice. So some organizations, they don't have the choice, they like companies who run once, they cannot do it. But a company who have choice and who are willing to go to the cloud, only 69% worldwide are able to do it. In Switzerland, we are 64%. This is just to show you again that we are again lacking in some aspects, but this is also because of the fact that we have expensive people, one person doing the job of 5 people. So how do we help them do the job better? So in Switzerland we have some great qualities, we have the investment areas to do so, and what I've seen so far in the Swiss market is we are lacking a lot on the maturity of the IT. So if we talk about security as an aspect, or we talk about IT management as an aspect, then we often find that companies, they are just following the trends of other countries, Germany or France, for example. But we are never in the leading space. If you compare our country to every other country, we are never among the best in IT management security. That is a problem. And I think it depends on all of us, it depends on you. What are we going to do so that we become the best? I think you can see here that I don't have white hairs like some people here. I'm going to bring, this is my vision, that I want to make IT democratized. I want to help companies with the help of ManageEngine and ZOHO to bring IT to the forefront of those companies. And this is the reason why companies nowadays, they are really focusing, and even coming from the C-level perspective, those people, they understand how impactful technology is. And in Switzerland, because of this ZOHO compliance and all these things, the ISO 27K and the new one even, or the FADP, people are starting to understand the importance of IT. Even IT service management as a fact is becoming a part of compliance. We need to monitor the changes. We need to know where are the CIs, right? What is the CMDB that we have? Tell me guys, do you think that you can protect what you don't know you have? If you don't know you have 10 laptops, how are you going to protect it? So this is part of IT service management, ESM. We need to know also about the CMD aspect. So all of these things, people in Switzerland, they are lacking a lot. And I think it's our job to make it better now. Yes, please. Thank you.
It's a good question. I think depend which industry, because on the sector public, right, we are very far away. It's unbelievable. I discussed last week with the CEO of Canton de Vaud, and they have very big problems to automate. It's due to political pressure, it's not for technical. On the other side, if you take the private banking industry, which is quite strong in Geneva, they are very, very advanced. No problem. One of the leaders. If you take Pictet, they launch their own AI system inside. They are very, very far away. So I would say depend which sector, and as our sector, our industrial sector are very working all together. I mean, if someone is doing something well in one sector, see, you know, they are sharing a lot of things. But between sectors, it's more difficult. I mean, it's depending on which industry you are working with. And banking, for me, private banking is top. On the other side of the spectrum, you have the public sector. And in between, you have all the other industry. And also the size of our company in Switzerland, outside, I mean, the top 20, are middle companies. And we have more companies who prefer to follow than to be, you know, to invest in new things. That's right. It's part of our culture. And we need to live with.
Well, I'm Swedish.
From
so
an external point of view.
From an external point of view, yeah, this is, I mean, how would Sweden, we're far up north, how would we perceive the market in Switzerland? It's a man guessing here. But I can, from a personal perspective, I can see we know what we know of Switzerland is you have really fantastic hardware, your Swiss watches and all those things. So you're famous for your engineering, Lean and whatever. It's fantastic. But we never hear about software that is coming from Switzerland. It is astonishing because you are on top of the food chain when it comes to banking, all these things, the best chocolate in the world, the best watches. You do the best things all the time.
Now the best shoes as well.
Exactly, the best shoes. Yes. Not like we did the Crocs. Papa made the Crocs and there was a joke. But I think it's the quality that you can bring to the world is, and the way you think about quality is fantastic. And translated into more like cloud business and those things can take years, I don't know, but I feel there's a conservatism maybe that brings you into data centers, data residency, and not looking into the cloud, or maybe we're talking about private clouds here at the most, I don't know. But it is in the middle of Europe, the middle of the world, basically. I mean, the known world, as we said. We're so far up north, it's so cold up there, so you don't want to go. But you're in the middle of everything. Everything happens around you here. And how can you break the chain of conservatism against cloud? I don't know if that's a big issue, even, but if you look at some vendors actually move away from data centers or servers, or they just move everything up to the cloud. So maybe it's going to be a problem in the future. I don't know.
I'm coming from Germany, so I feel everything is advanced here. Honestly, I mean, yesterday I was at an event hosted by our mayor in the city of Essen, and we were talking about digitalization and all of that, right? So, and I gave them the example 3 years ago when I moved to Germany. I had opened a bank account, and this is with one of the biggest banks, they say, in the world, right? And I said, because I forgot my password, and pops up a message saying, you will receive a post in 3 days. And I couldn't use my bank account for 3 days because I was waiting for the post to arrive. Right? So when I look at from there, I have to carry cash in Germany. I think Switzerland is far better, right? But then I think EU, Europe in general, I feel this whole regulation around AI, the regulations around cloud, and it's good. However, that also slows down innovation, slows down adoption of digital technology, right? And that you can see stark difference between regions then, because when we are looking at region, for example, Asia Pacific is growing at a tremendous rate when it comes to digital adoption. Americas is doing quite well as well, right? In Europe, if you look at UK, Netherlands doing quite well, but as you come down, then you see that adoption is slowing down, right? So I think it also has to do with risk aversion, right? Technology also comes with risk, and then the parliament also puts in a lot of policies and governance in place. All this sort of increases that hesitation to go try new technology, try new vendors. In fact, we were a couple of years ago, we were working with, not working actually, Google gave us some data points, right? Which countries in Europe they are more sort of in line with trying with new vendors, right? So who are ready to try new vendors in technology and all of that. And interestingly, Western European markets, they just don't want to try new vendors. I was thinking this would be more the case with Southern European market like Spain or Greece or these Southern European markets, but they are more likelihood to try new vendors, try new technology than the Western Europe or Northern Europe sort of markets, right? And then you are stuck with incumbents, right? You're stuck with legacy tools that are there, that's been running. So it's like this, right? Don't fix it if it's not broken, and then you keep piling that technical debt in organization. Like some of the migrations we have seen, we are surprised at how can they run such large operations with such heavy risk, right? Because the technology is so old. There's risk factor, security risk factor, and other problems that could arise. And now they are rising up to, okay, let's move the systems, let's modernize things. So I see that the silver lining here is organizations, at least in the private sector, they are rising up to this, they are looking at it, they are thinking about it. We engage with several of these organizations now who are ready to ask questions, who are asking questions, right questions. How can they move? What are the factors to consider? So that's happening. It's slow, but it's happening, right? And the difference when I look at it from a regional standpoint, here in Europe, compared to say the US or Asia's, once you are in for a long time, right? It's not the case in Americas, right, where they are shifting tools and where they are shifting plans quite more than say in Europe. And Asia also it's the same case. So I think that factor of let's completely analyze and then make a decision is what's slowing things down. But there is, I think, a little bit of positiveness on it also, right? Because then you are really evaluating before you go on to something. Yeah.
Well, I can speak about what has been our experience in Ticino, where as a ZOHO partner coming from Italy, we've been literally called from local companies to implement automation. The impression is that, probably on some areas, the situations that we encountered was like in a second camera, not completely digitalized, not completely automated, even data managed not exactly in the most secure and efficient way. But I think it was normal because it's like to say that the competitive pressure until now was not so strong. And when competitive pressure became stronger, then instead of paying people, companies prefer to automate. This is exactly what happened before in other countries in the north of Europe and so on. So I don't think Switzerland is so late. Yes, it's coming later, but it's coming. For what we have seen from the projects that we have managed. There is one aspect, one matter where I see also some risks, and it's the privacy compliance. Because Badii entered 1.5 years ago, more or less, in Switzerland. It's the same with GDPR in Europe. In the rest of Europe, or at least in Italy, where we come from, GDPR really scares companies. Because for a medium company, if the Italian authority for GDPR applies some penalty, you can close the company because they can apply until 20% on the revenues. So it's something incredible. But not only if you make something bad with data, not only if you stole data, not only if you sell data, but just if you don't apply the regulation at the letter. Okay, and the regulation, GDPR regulation and the LPD is the same. It's really, really complex, not only in setting up the LPD system, but more in maintaining it during the time. So without entering in details, this is the area where, in our experience, probably the Swiss company, for what we have seen, really late. But if this is going to be a danger or not, really depends on to what extent the local, so the Swiss agency for privacy, will be tough in making controls and in applicating the penalties. I don't know if here it's the same. In Italy, for example, if you go to the website to this authority and you send an email and say, yeah, okay, yeah, I think that that company is using my data improperly, after 1 week, the authority is there and they have to be there. And when they enter, they check everything. So I hope your authority won't do like that, but this is an area where, for me, the experience made from the other countries really could be really useful for the Swiss company, just to avoid the risks that other countries have encountered.
Any other question from the audience so far? You want to bring some question or?
Thank you. Just from the customer's perspective, in our company we are wanting to implement Jira Cloud IT Service Management, and one of our first concerns are the legal ones, because we manage information from our customers that cannot be outside Switzerland, so we have some compliance issues. On the other hand, I can say that was the first thing that my host was trying to remove from the path before implementing that. So in this case, as you said, the legal risk is very, very high, because 20% of the revenues of the company is too much. So we want to go to the cloud, but we need that the cloud is in Switzerland, for instance. This is, when I saw your data centers before, and I was thinking, okay, it's interesting, but how can we manage this kind of things? Thank you.
One answer is yes. No, the data residency for cloud will be in Switzerland. We will be part of the Team 24 in Barcelona with Atlassian, and we'll see what's going on there. But they will release a lot of new stuff.
I might just add, there's a data residency in Switzerland is already there.
It's already here. Yeah. So I was right. I said yes. But I didn't want to promise anything. But then
you can promise it's here.
Okay, we promise. Let's promise.
You just have to have the right level of Jira like subscription, and then you can pick where you want to put it. We have it in Switzerland.
Yeah, you have to have premium, then you can choose.
I only wanted to mention something that perhaps is in our case is already removed, but these are the kind of things companies are facing when trying to adopt platforms. Because lately GDPR, data privacy has become a really big concern.
Yeah, especially with the world we live in today, that you cannot share data easily. You need to have full control, and you need to show it to, if you're in banking or whatever, to your customers. Otherwise, they will not feel secure to put in their money in your bank if you cannot secure the, So that's like with data. Data is money. Data is like a bank. You need to keep it in your vault. So there are all sorts of examples out there where there have been leakages, or people who are not supposed to work there are working there as a third-party person that is accessing the data. Maybe for good reasons, maybe it's a good person, but you don't know. So yeah, so then there are always those rules and regulations that come up after that. And yeah.
Maybe if I can give you one advice also on compliance, if of course your company is going to get GDPR compliant or whatever, it's also important to consider the other aspect of data of auditing, for example. So today I don't know if your majority of IT includes CM, for example, SIM, or any type of auditing. Nowadays in Switzerland we found that even some banks, big banks, they don't have CM or they don't have auditing systems in place. So that is a concern point, that also you have data residency, the data storage, data use policies to see where they are crossing, if it's crossing the border of Switzerland, how it's going to apply there. But we also need to understand, where and how the data is processed, right? So from the deletion, from the creation, from storing. So those things come from logs, and logs should be stored somewhere. So I would suggest also to look at a bigger picture if you want to be GDPR compliant, or you want to be more on data privacy focus, you want to give your customers more privacy controls over the data. That would be one of the aspects I would look at as well.
Any other question?
I have one. You mentioned the hospital where the user experience was in one interface and not one platform. And we talked shortly about email is not state of the art. And from my perspective, the whole stuff about platforms and user experience is just managing complexity. And I wonder who is coming or what product is on the market to give me as a company the opportunity to implement such a user interface, combining all the different systems we ever will have. How should I approach that? How could you help me to go to that direction? And what is the marketing bringing up from your perspective?
Because I have more information regarding the Hospital of Geneva. They use ServiceNow, but they use two ServiceNow platform. It's crazy that it's like this. One for the IT department to treat the tickets, really completely separate, and the second one to manage this interface. And because it's due to the platform of ServiceNow, ServiceNow was not designed to be an ITSM platform at the beginning. ServiceNow at the beginning was designed to be a workflow engine. So you could use this part of this tool as a workflow engine only. But it's due, and I think it's more due to the type of legacy system they have in place. I mean, it's, from my point of view, it's no solution now in the market will apply to everyone, every type of demand, every type of context. If you are, for instance, working in the industrial world, I am pretty sure if you have an SAP-centric company, you will use SAP because you could do a lot of things, especially with S4. And a major part of the migration we see now from ECC6 to S4 is they will use this new feature from S4 to integrate new things inside S4 platform to have just one interface for everyone. But it's very specific if you are very SAP-centric. It's a huge decision. It's not mine. No? If it's good or not to be SAP-centric, it's not my concern, but it can be a solution. For others, they prefer to have their own development to manage the interface. Or you could use other tools. You have plenty of tools who are able to make the link between the user, the interface, and the different system you have behind. And for instance, at the Hospital of Geneva, I said it's 80% because 20% was not all the radiology. It's completely separate. It's quite impossible to interface with all these systems they have. It's very, very complex. It's more complex than what we think. So all the radiology, is completely managed separately. Now it's changing due to the they have new system work coming also to manage everything from a passion point of view. So it's completely new. So I have no answer for you. I'm very sorry.
No surprise, thank you.
Yeah, depend your context. So, but you need to analyze it. I mean, the solution will come from your context, not come from the industry.
I think it's coming down also to the definition of what is a platform,
Yeah.
what is a system, what is an application, etc. I come from the system analysis world, and I think having, like, I see it as an ecosystem. So what is your platform? It's not one tool, it's a set of tools. And what is a tool? Is that an application, an add-on, or a plugin? I mean, so the end users, again, they should not even care. They should have an easy GUI. If you look at ChatGPT, then we're down to the prompting again, MS tools type of world. So it goes back again, and then it took a couple of weeks or months. Dani came in, and you could do it full on with images, etc. It goes so fast now, so we can't keep up. But if we don't keep up, it takes so long time to gain the ground that you lost. Because competition, they will be there before they take all the customers or whatever it is out there you have. So I think it's about being adapted to the new things that are coming in. Don't forget where you are. I mean, if we just do emailing, fine, that's fine. But maybe all of a sudden you have to do Teams meeting, and you're all of a sudden chatting in Teams.
Plus WhatsApp, plus...
Exactly. Then you have like a heap of, I have like 5 chat tools I use daily, but I don't really think of it because they're similar. It's just a prompt down there. They look the same, really. It's just like an SMS. We're down to SMS.
Now we are back to talking, actually.
Yes,
That's
also.
Because nowadays you don't type to ChatGPT, you speak. So actually, back to basics.
It's like a full circle. But then what comes after that? I mean, somebody will speak instead of you because it will be like a clone of you. Because you have prompted the clone to talk like you did the last calls with your wife, and then it's like.
That's amazing. You know, my daughter, she's 21.
And when she uses WhatsApp, she's speaking to WhatsApp, and she sends a voice message to someone, and back and forth. And I ask her, why do you don't call your friends? If you want to speak with, call. No. And you explained the difference between young and old guys. For me, I never register voice in WhatsApp. You know, I always typing my message. So what's happened in the future? I will be retired in 15 years, something like this. So we'll see. But of course, it will change a lot in the coming days. Didn't show you, but you could do exactly the same things by integrating ChatGPT. And you could ask ChatGPT by the robots, and you just provide a CV. I will engage this guy. You provide the CV. ChatGPT will choose a different info, and you will send the info to the different system. And yes, it will change in the future, absolutely. And it's changing every single day. So, but also we don't know which kind of technology will take the lead in the coming. I hope it's you, of course, for you. I mean, but we have no idea who will gain this major change of AI coming now in every single domain. I mean, not only in itSMF.
When I was outside, I was just reading one. I was reading one article. You know, Klarna, the payment company, Klarna. Klarna, yeah. Swedish, right? Yeah. So their CEO came publicly saying that they are getting rid of Salesforce and Workday because they are replacing it with AI systems and all that is there in their place. So there is, I mean, I don't know if you've heard about this agent-based pricing now, agent force by different companies that they have launched. So as long as you have the data in your system and then there is that digital maturity, you can really use AI that is available today to replace a lot of form-based systems that you have in place. Right, wherever there is that data and where you have to fill the forms and you have to do the repetitive task, I think somebody was talking about, right? So if you have to click the same button every day, why do it, right? And then same thing, right? So if you WhatsApp, people use voice, like my father these days, he does this voice message to me because when we speak, I don't let him complete the sentence. So
that's a good. That's a very good reason.
Yeah. So then he puts voice message because he can then peacefully say whatever he wants to say.
Do you listen?
It's like my daughter is sending this message. Right.
I can have a question for Suvish. Yeah, because you left pending the description of the role of the AI in the ZOHO ecosystem in the future. But I'd like to just in a few words to understand it by a strategic point of view. What is in your strategy in the future the role of the AI in the applications?
Right. So for us, we call our AI systems we had to do some naming ceremony, right? So we started our AI project about 12 years ago. The ZIA project was, now it's about 13 years. For us, because we have all these applications, there is data available and there are users, so it only makes sense to make some sense out of the data for the customers, right? So we have been working on this for various of our applications. For example, our low-code application builder, which is called Creator, it competes with the likes of Microsoft Power Platform, or there are other apps, Mendix and all those, right? So it competes with that market. Now there, for example, one of the use cases we are looking at is text to app, right? So you just put the requirement on text interface and it builds an app out of it, right? So that's one requirement. Our writer, ZOHO writer, which is document builder. There you have your regular, like for example, I think Magnus, in your presentation there was this summarization technology, right? Now that's something which is already part of, let's say, ZOHO Connect, which is like Microsoft acquired this company called YAML, right? So we have something called a ZOHO Connect for 13 years. Now there, if somebody is writing a post, you could just summarize a 1,000-word article into those 50 words, right? So you don't have to read all that, and it gathers all the data. And that particular technology is getting sort of used in our ticketing platform and various other things, right? So that is another way. In CRM, we are using AI on plethora of use cases, right? So because CRM is sometimes you call it a junkyard of all kinds of data from the systems, right? You have sales data, your marketing data. We have a BI platform called ZOHO Analytics, where you have data preparation as part of this, right? So data preparation, then you combine it with CRM, then you get the real quality of data, because then you can deduplicate, you can filter out. So there are, because you have, ZOHO has 50 different applications, and each of these applications provide tens of use cases where data can be smartly structured, smartly utilized and retrieved, right? So we have that, I think, flexibility to really look at where customers can optimize the usage of the tool, right? So that's something which we've been working on. Because this platform is again built by us, ZIA, and it uses our own proprietary technology, we also have been able to sort of compartmentalize it within the usage of an enterprise. So the privacy standpoint, so we are not using open labs system or the other LLMs in the market, right? So the data doesn't go to these LLMs. We of course provide integration with OpenAI because some of the customers, they really want that. So they have freedom to choose. What we also believe, and we have published certain research papers in the past, is not every enterprise needs LLM. They don't need LLM, right? So we classify our AI developments into 3 models, which is narrow language model, medium language, and then obviously there are LLMs. Now think of it this way, right? So you have an expense management software. We have ZOHO Expense. Now ZOHO Expense, you can scan the receipt. The receipt, there's an OCR reader which takes the data. Now that is an example of narrow language model where you have 2 to 5 billion parameter query, and then you can extract the data and then it compares and things like that. Now you don't need an OpenAI integration for that. Similarly, there are other use cases like, say for example, detection of fraud or detection of in payment systems and all, where you need a larger model, right? So it depends upon really the use cases, and what we are trying to do is we are trying to define these use cases so our customers don't have to then really depend upon the large model. So we are gradually releasing these models into the market. For example, today we had our latest BI platform go out in the market, the latest version. There's a lot of AI in it. ZOHO Analytics, a lot of AI where you could just ask the tool, give me a report for last month, for example, right? Instead of selecting, now whether it is, there is also AI in many cases, it masquerades, or rather machine learning, it masquerades as an AI, right? But it's just automation at the back end. And it also, instead of querying, writing those SQL queries or finding those 10 different buttons, 10 different pages to look for answers, you just write the text, NLP, right? So you just write it, I need sales data, what is the correlation of marketing spend versus sales, right? And then it populates the data. Now that data has to then go into the chat window of, let's say, marketing department, right? So that was I think the single user interface that we are having with ZOHO 1. So ZOHO 1, because it's built on the same system, so what happens is if there is a periodic report that has to be generated, then that snapshot automatically goes into our Click platform, which is our chatting platform, a messenger platform, and it gets notified to all the users, right? Expense, for example, my team, when they send a trip request, they are flying somewhere and they send a trip request, they send it from Expense app, I get a notification directly on my ZOHO Click platform, right? So then what happens is, as an employee, I am dealing with just one interface, right? I'm dealing with, of course there will be slight difference, some platform might use, or application might use a different color, but then at the end of the day, the digital experience that your employees are getting, it is similar. So then, obviously, like the gentleman said, not everything can be built on one platform. So you can't have off-the-shelf platform do everything that your organization needs. That's where the platform capabilities, or that's where apps like ZOHO Creator, Mendix, Power, all those things will help, because sometimes you need some custom apps, right? So for example, this hospital use case, we have a similar hospital in UK for 8,000, 9,000 employees. They use this particular platform where you have this nurses and shift staff, people coming in the night shift and morning shift and all of that. So they are using ZOHO 1 on multiple of these applications like HR platform and all that, but they have also built a custom app. Now they have built a custom app on top of ZOHO Creator, and that sort of sits, so then the database is same, they still use the data from multiple departments, but also enjoy the flexibility of having one platform across the hospital, right? So 8,000 of their employees use just this platform and run with it, right? So there are, I think, possibilities. It's difficult, and you still cannot do everything on a platform. But then that's where you have to evaluate. Can that platform also provide me the flexibility to build my own apps, right? So then it connects with the same database. It also gives you the flexibility to have same interface. Then all the other things, affordability, security, and all of that, right? So it is partially possible, I would say. It's just a matter of how you are evaluating the system.
Thanks. Any other question?
I got one. It's about the kind of difference between ESM and ITSM. So for me, I work for Radicant Bank. I do a bit of self-promotion. It's a digital bank in Switzerland, been around 2 years. So we had the opportunity to build everything from scratch. Everything's digital, everything's in the cloud. We use GCP to host our infrastructure, our architecture, everything's there. We use Jira, we use Atlassian, Confluence, of course. And we use Jira Service Management as well, that you were talking about earlier, for the ticketing system that we have. And as we've grown, the HR department and our security departments also wanted to start using the service catalogs, because they can see the forms that we've set up that they wanted to use this. Jira has on their website, Atlassian has this huge guide for ITSM, like how you can use their tools, best practices, things that they have. They also have the same for ESM. But for me, I need to kind of, not just trust them that they are telling me everything and maybe we don't miss something. So maybe this is where you guys come in as consultancy firms anyway, and maybe you won't tell me now because you want me to pay for it, but are there where else can we learn about ESM? Where can we get these best practices? Is there like an ITIL for ESM or something similar?
That's useful.
Or do I take the business cards?
Who is the first one?
We are working with a digital bank in near Geneva, perhaps you know the name. It's ITECOR, and we are working exactly in this domain with ITECOR, but I think you understand very well.
Yeah.
So we are working exactly in the same domain with ITECOR. So okay, you are working with a tool. I don't want to regarding the capabilities of Atlassian works. My point of view, perhaps I'm 100% wrong. It's a very IT tool. It's not a business tool.
Sure.
Today, now, what I know. If you ask them, for sure, perhaps in the future, in a very specific domain, perhaps it will change. But today, you have other tools who are more adapted for the business demand, to manage the business demand, because we are speaking about this. But perhaps it can work in your environment. I have no idea. So ITECOR, they made a different choice for the business end.
I can say that other tool vendors, not to mention which one, but H&M used standard RFCs to set up new stores all over the world using a system. Standard changes. Because it was so standardized, they just used that. So you can reuse whatever tool you have. Now we're in the same family of tools, and I can say it has changed. You can build on it with like Lego bricks. Then the ESM will sort out itself in a way, because if HR is asking, like what I said here earlier, for a better onboarding process, what does that really mean? You post a ticket for this person will have these sort of attributes on top, like a laptop, access to the systems, etc., and fully automated into Intune to send out the passwords and whatnot. Then you gain something of value for the end user. Then whatever tool you use doesn't really matter. Again, it should be smooth. The process should be smooth. and break down the silos between those departments. Is it an HR issue, the onboarding, or is it a security? Or is it a workforce and talent management practice? What is it? That doesn't really matter. It starts somewhere. Somebody needs to own that ticket that is automated into 5-10 tickets. Somebody needs to do it. If it's HR, security, legal, whoever. And that's the idea behind ESM. To my understanding, and what we've been working with our customers, we configure the system and then we call it something, and it's basically 3 things: to do, in progress, and done. That's the simple thing. It's like we used the whiteboards before with the post-its, and now it's like we have the tools and means to facilitate faster movement of those tickets. But again, one GUI. HR people, they look at things differently from a marketing person and a legal person. The legal person, they love the law book and they like text. An HR person is more maybe into the people person, So we look at things differently in our organizations. So it should cater also for all those perspectives. That's what I'm saying.
I'll take it quickly because I think out of time. But I think the question is beautiful because nowadays, especially we talk about Swiss Geneva Hospital or L'Hôpital de Geneva. Those are customers that we have, and we are on the back end of the management of security and management of IT. And often those teams, they all complain about digital employee experience, and they all complain about the ticketing platform they have. So the problem why they have that is when you want to go with the ESM practice, you want to have one platform, your ESM portal, one link is for the HR, one is for this, one is for that. And people often complain what they do is they want to follow best practice. They want, okay, tell me how should I do it? But there's no single way to do it. The thing is give back the power to people. So the HR people that you want to onboard on the platform, or the finance, or the legal, or all these people that you want to onboard on the platform, you need to give them back the power. So Jira is a software developed on DevOps mindset. We have other platform as well, like the one we have, or that integrated Jira as well, that is specific to enterprise service management. So how we do it with our customers, we talk about some of their customers or whatever. Those customers, how they do it, we give them a platform, ESM platform, and then we give them the power to do it themselves. So if we talk about Jira, we talk about ServiceNow, most of the implementation would always come with services. Our software with ManageEngine, only 20% of customers need more than 1 day of service. Only 20%. And we have near to hundreds of customers in Switzerland that we are actively working with today. And those people that we have HR or quality analysis people, or finance people who create their own portal, they don't even need our help. What they need is help them understand how it goes and give them the power and help them understand that if they want user to use it, they have to make it simple. And to make it simple, they need to make it simple. So that's my advice. There's no best ESM practice. It's every company will have different things. However, if you keep it simple, everyone is going to use it. That would be my advice.
All right. It's not a question of platform. I am obviously, I'm right.
You're different.
No, because I'm not a software vendor, so that's right, isn't it? No, nothing to add.
I come also out of a healthcare company, which is a healthcare company that tries to grow and get in other hospitals in this group,
Nice.
which is a kind of problem for the future also. And what I feel that all would have they would be nice to have, so fun. But I have the problem that I think the management, the top management of companies like mine, they are not focus on their services. So they have other management problems out of regulations and financial things. So that's not important for them. They just don't, it's not interesting for them. And my problem, my company, is to bring them to their mindset that this is driving their whole company, basically. And these argumentations are very hard on that level. Because I'm coming out of the technical stuff, but I see a lot of things, but try to tell it to whatever person what he has here, and it's a strategic theme. That's the main problem. That's also with the discussion why Switzerland is behind.
Yes, and then one thing quickly, there's a different comment. We are working one of the quantum here in Switzerland, the state, and they are very big here, and they want to have this ITSM or Enterprise Management program. And the person told me, okay, how am I going to convince management to invest on my IT strategy? And what he did at the end, he connected to other quantum who were doing great, and he said, their CEO or their management, can I connect with those people? And they exchange ideas. And we trigger the conversation in a way, because people in Switzerland, it's a network, it's a network-based country. We only do it if other companies that we know are doing it. That's the reason why your analysis on if we are looking for new vendors, Switzerland, we hate that. We hate changes. So if other companies that we trust, who are doing the same thing that we are doing it, often if we do it ourselves as well. So nowadays, customers in Switzerland, they are looking for trends in Germany, in France. But today, I think we are having some great customers, like the one they are building, great PT and all these are great references. Maybe have those management leaders talk to other leaders in the industry who are taking care of IT. Maybe they will help you make them invest in your organization. I think networking is key in Switzerland. I think best practice comes from networking, helping, understanding the challenges, and giving solutions to them. Because people, they don't listen to you, they listen to a consultant or to other companies.
Some people are more
knowledgeable
than
yeah, I know that.
Last question.
My question goes in the same direction as him. The point is, we're talking about ESM,
Okay.
but in my understanding, ITSM is a requirement for a company to get to the next stage, ESM. So, and perhaps this question is also important to itSMF organization, which is actually the adoption of ITSM practices in Switzerland. How is our maturity level? How many companies are ready to move to ESM? And how many companies, private and public sectors, are still introducing ITSM? And how deep? Only incident service request, fulfillment, change, knowledge, or I would let me know that. I'm very curious because at 2012, when I made my IT certification, it was very clear to me that with those processes you could even manage a travel agency.
Yes.
Huh? I mean, so it was no mystery, but I see now 2024, and this we are very advanced conceptually,
Yes.
but the practice is some decades behind. So this is my feeling. So ESM, I think I do fully agree what you say. The practices we made in IT, we could spread it through the whole company, and it's quite interesting what you said, integrating HR, security, IT. Wow. But when will this become a reality?
I think you have to emphasize. You cannot integrate them. When you have pillars like SAP only for the finance part and HR, they will not move away from them. So you have to to emphasis in the system.
Yeah.
Because they have invested so much money in SAP and so much time and the consulting to get it out and put it in another platform.
They will never change.
They will never change.
I see two problems. First of all, that the C-level becomes aware of the potential of this. Secondly, in my professional experience, I've seen that unfortunately IT is under HR or financial department, but not at the board where they can interact directly with the CEO. I mean, now I'm in a company that this is so, and I'm very happy because I see that we are making a service portfolio, we are moving things forward, luckily, but not all the companies have this. No? I think it's a problem when IT is not close to the C-level.
Just one sentence before Andrea, he asked you a question about IT.
Yes, can you reply as a final sentence? Yeah.
I'll just say one thing. Let's say about the IT service management, or we talk about ESM, we talk about ZOHO, we talk about Jira, whatever we are talking about, who is implementing this? IT. So if IT is not understanding technology and is not giving a proven experience to the management, is never going to move. So that's the reason why IT service management is often the basis of ESM. That's how we see it, at least in my point of view. Yes, please, Andrea.
First of all, I want to reply to you. Basing on my understanding, so I'm working also in an IT service company, and I would say received the IT service company in my company. UBS is a big company. Now it's the bigger than Switzerland with the acquisition. In my point of view, you are right. So IT is the pre-requirement for enterprise. It's true. I see now a lot of, I would say, many tools, many companies, many vendors provide studies, case studies for enterprises. So I think now the enterprise is mature. How the company, would say, measure the maturity, it's a good topic because we have ITIL teach us how to do, and I think many companies do it, but I don't know which is the level of maturity. I think in the middle, not ad hoc, but not, I would say, over mature, because it's also cost a lot of money to be on top, over the top. Obviously, in my point of view, when I switch from a small, medium company to a big company, I see that so the governance is there. So we need to do, otherwise we get crazy. Because with 1,000, 100,000 people, we need to implement IT service management on top, but also enterprise service management on top. For us, the HR is located in Poland, and I need to open a self-service. So we have a bot. And I try to say, overcome the what it's impossible, because there is always a question to redirect to a self-service, so for everything. And so this is the reason why the maturity of the process now is there, from IT to enterprise. And this should be, HR seems one of the, say, sector outside IT that can retrieve this kind of maturity, but also in the future could be financial, or I see, as soon as I see the maturity from the companies, from the solution, and we can see the, I would say, the case studies, people, like discussed before, people get trust of it and try to, okay, let me try also by myself, because I see that the similarity of the process, and I think that this should be, I would say, the evolution. I blocked to change the name, because but my intention is to change from IT to E, to Enterprise Service Management 4, because this is I see the evolution and the future of this in this way. Thank you so much to be there. I'm very honored to be there, And also we have now apero, and we continue eating something to discussion, free. This is a very open, I would say, extended round table. Okay, thank you so much.